You might not have heard anything about the story because it's gotten very little attention nationally. Over the weekend, about 100 BLM radicals descended on Midtown Manhattan for a defund the police protest, which of course turned violent. They stormed restaurants, flipped tables, broke glass, and in the end, 2 police officers were injured, 11 protesters were arrested. So why didn't you hear about it? Joining me now is Ed Mullins, president of New York Sergeants Benevolence Association. Ed, your reaction to what is basically silence from the local press, national press, outside of the local press, no national press.
It's disgusting, and we've been dealing with this since last summer. The media is not covering what's actually happened in these cities across America. They're not covering what occurred here in New York City. The individual who bit a police officer on the thigh has been arrested 15 times for protests in the city of New York, and nothing's being done about it. The NYPD is allowing these protests by not walking alongside them and standing behind them, and they then go into restaurants, break windows, toss tables, disrupt business, and continue. Those are not peaceful protests, Laura, and this is a continuing problem that's happening nationwide. Our department right now is being run by Chief of Department Monahan. He was in charge in 2004 at the RNC, where he violated numerous people's rights and sued. Tish James, the Attorney General, has now filed another lawsuit against this department for not handling these things properly. Who's in charge? The same person as 2004. And who was in charge the other night? We have a police department here in New York that is at a standstill. We're seeing this across the country.
I just want everyone to look at this. Ed, sorry to interrupt, but look at this video. I mean, when we want to find the individual criminals who went into the Capitol on January 6th, we have facial recognition technology. We have all points bulletins. And in this case, you did have 11 arrests, but there were a lot of people out there creating a lot of havoc. And I don't hear anyone on the left saying, we got to get to the bottom of this because this is hurting our movement. This is hurting our ultimate political goals, and this is hurting police officers. Have you heard cries to identify more of these, quote, protesters?
No, there's not. These people that were arrested were all released. One person was held on bail and probably released by now. We have the revolving doors of justice here with all 5 district attorneys' offices in New York City. And, you know, the hands-off policy from the department encourages this. We have the biggest boob mayor in the country, Mayor de Blasio, who continues to take a hands-off approach on crime. We had a serial killer on the subways this past weekend, and he's yet to be heard from as to what's taking place. And his wife's in charge of mental illness, where everything's exploding here in the city of New York. So, you know, if anyone's thinking about coming to New York to take a vacation, they really need to rethink that. We are losing this city. We are losing it fast. And, you know, these protests are not protests. These are violent acts.
Yeah, and Ed, I think that this summer, gearing up to be another bad summer. You can feel it. You can sense it. And police officers, you know, we just hope they stay safe. And the people of New York, law-abiding people, stay safe as well. Ed, thank you for sharing the story. Again, very few people even knew that happened